Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about a white woman who actually came out to ask her fellow white women what kind of races are there are. And I am saying, why did she exclude white men? Because the one that hit on me so bad with his right to the seas was a white man. So this should be for both men and women, palm colored, right? And she actually started by internalized. I mean, she had one, two to three, and she really passed her message across. And I love the fact that it is coming from them, not me, because when it's coming from me, they don't listen. They think it's us trying to be us. But if it is coming from them, I am sure they are going to listen. And she started by dominative racism, symbolic modern racism, and she went further to talk about a non-racist passive bystanders, and then she talked about internalized racism. And the main thing is that a lot of them are all like that. Some of them probably do that unknowingly, but wait, I want to ask, it's like, doing something unknowingly, like some of the stereotypes they do to black people, especially when they see black people in some neighborhood and they start calling the cars because they feel like you cannot afford to live there. Man, that thing is not, it's just something that is in them, that internalized this thing. Let's get into this.
Before we can really get into the work of how to deconstruct our racism as white women, we first have to figure out what kind of racist we are. So that's what the next few parts of the series are going to go over, is what kind of racist white women are we? The first two that I'm going to talk about in this video are explicitly racist white people. I have a feeling they're not watching, but it's good to learn this information anyway. The next video we'll talk about implicitly racist white people. The third video will touch very briefly on internalized racism because it's important to the conversation, but I am not going to talk about that. It's way out of bounds for me. And the fourth video we'll talk about anti-racist people, and that's what the goal is. We are all trying to get to anti-racist. So welcome along, and here we go. Okay, so the first type of racism we're going to talk about in this video is called dominative racism. This is like your old-fashioned racism. This is your traditional bigotry. This is your racial slurs, hate crimes, tiki torches, Proud Boys, Aryan Brotherhood. This is your like white nationalist type of racism. Since that, though, has become like fairly uncommon and gets checked socially way more often than it did in the past, people have moved more into the next type of explicit racism that I'm going to talk about, which is symbolic modern racism. And that is where you hold deep values in your brain that the negative stereotypes perpetuated about Black people are actually true. And those stereotypes include things like Black women don't feel pain, Black women are aggressive, Black men are criminals. Those are the kind of stereotypes that like you truly believe are real. This is someone who, like, when you're watching the news and you hear like, oh, the bank got robbed today, immediately you're like, oh, I know for a fact a Black person did that because they commit more crimes than a white person. It's still explicit racism because you know what you're thinking and you like believe it to be true. And you are loud with that hate. Like you think other people think that way too. Welcome to part 2 of what kind of racist white woman are you? This video goes over people that are implicitly racist. This is probably where the majority of the white, I would like to think, this is where the majority of the white women that are watching this series fall. These are people that don't want to be racist, but are. The two types we're going to go over are aversive racism and non-racist passive bystanders. That's a lot to say. So aversive racism revolves around this idea where people want equality. Okay, these people want equality. They want everyone on the same playing field. However, they think that there's only two types of racism, and that's racist and not racist. And they don't really understand the way that there's like a whole multifaceted larger picture at play. That's why they're implicitly racist, because explicitly they think that they want equality, but they hold these negative, conflicting values, beliefs, feelings towards Black people that only make them perpetuate racism even further. I'd argue that this is one of the more dangerous types of racism, to be honest, and this is specifically, in my opinion, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, this is the kind of racist that is very, very scary for Black women to be around, because they want to believe at face value that these white women are with it, and then all of a sudden they do this crazy shit that just proves that they don't know anything about what they're talking about. These are your people that are like All Lives Matter movement, white feminism movement. These are people where like as soon as a group of Black people is like, hey, we'd actually like to have an all Black sorority, you know, like where we can all just, you know, as Black women congregate and feel safe with one another. These white women are like, absolutely not. That's not fair. There's absolutely no way I would let you do that. No, 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 no. At the same time, though, they're screaming about equality. So it's like they don't quite get it. And as soon as you threaten their white privilege or their access to power as a white person, it's game over for these folks. The other little sliver of this category of racism is going to be the white saviors. So let's say that you're driving and you're pulling off the interstate and you see two homeless people on the side of the road and you've got a black person and a white person and you yourself have $10. White saviors are the kind of people who are going to, first off, they're going to pull their phone out. They're going to start recording. They're going to take their $10. They're going to give it to the black person, and they're going to post it on the internet, hoping that people are like, oh my God, look at you. You did so good. Oh my goodness. You're so good at what you did. You totally helped out that less fortunate black man. Oh my gosh. When in reality, they could have just had 2 5s and given one to each person and done the same amount of good. Arguably more good because you're helping 2 people, but that's another conversation. But these type of people feel like because they gave the $10 to the black person who probably needed it more or is less fortunate than the other person who's in the exact same situation as them, they are doing some kind of social, justice hoorah. Also, they're always going to record it because they need that like social, boost of ego. I hope that made sense. The other kind of implicit racism we're going to talk about is kind of like counterintuitive in a way that it's actually non-racist, passive bystander. That's so hard to say. But these people, they hold value. They believe in equality, and I'd argue they actually believe in equity, which is something that the other group didn't in this video, or at least didn't understand. But these people fail to take action against racist acts or when they witness racism on the guise that it will also interfere with their white privilege and access to power as a white person. Okay, welcome back to part 3 of What Kind of Racist White Woman Am I? This part actually doesn't pertain to white people directly. However, it indirectly affects the entire system of racism. So we're going to talk about internalized racism. And for the sake of this series, which is white women and black people, this would be, internalized racism would be like a black person that is racist against other black people on the guise that they feel like acting white or being accepted by white people is better than being black or being liked by black people. The reason why this is so important to this series is because these people that have these internalized racist views against themselves and their community are oftentimes the people that are used to further perpetuate the hate towards their community by racist white people and further perpetuate negative stereotypes and negative rhetoric about their community by racist white people. Someone who's often used by Fox News or like racist Republicans is Candace Owens because she looks black and is perceived at face value as a black woman that she could speak for the black community. And if you didn't know any, past context, you'd be like, oh, this black woman's on Fox News. I wonder what's going on. And then she starts spewing this really hateful Republican rhetoric. It's like the Republicans eat this shit up. The racist Republicans they're all racist. I just wanted to be clear. Eat this shit up because they're like, well, look, she's black and she said it. But it's like, she's an outlier. Okay. These kind of people are complete outliers to their community. And that's why it's dangerous. But they're the first people that racist white people will use to, push their own story and their own narrative. So I guess the reason why I put it in this series is if you are someone who finds yourself often being like, well, yeah, but I saw this one black person 3 weeks ago on Fox News say this thing, so it must be true. Maybe, just maybe you need to look at why you're doing that and why you're not just listening to the greater black community, but rather holding on to one voice that is saying what a tiny, tiny percent or minority is saying. Outside of that, on a very real note, internalized racism, I can't imagine. I can only understand it in the way that I compare it to internalized misogyny. And it's something that community, like when you're a marginalized community or an oppressed community, you've got to deconstruct your own stuff and everyone does that at a different rate. So some people just haven't got there yet, and that's for them and their community to work through. We as white people cannot comment nor judge for that.
So this is all I got from this, and I hope this video reaches out to a lot of palm-colored people, not just the women and both men and women, right? Because I remember that the man that actually told me that I am coming to your Africa, right? And I am coming to Africa to adopt, because he looked at me and I am an African. For that reason, he's coming to Africa to adopt. So their mindset most times is really kind of messed up, and some of them sometimes do not know how they do or when they do some of the, should I say that they do not know when they do some of the resistance they do? Actually, they do know when they are doing it, because some of them is something that they already know that they are doing. And some of them, like, that stereotype, just like what she said, like, when people see someone like Candace Owens, right, on Fox News, and she is spewing those rhetoric, and people are going to be, this is coming from a black woman. So why do I have to, like, not think about them or think of them this way? That's why when black people canceled her, and I am also like, not rooting for anybody trying to get her back into black community or something, because she really messed up a whole lot. And I love the fact that she is enjoying the fruit of her labor, because with everything she has done, or like, to black community, and sometimes all their rich disease rhetoric, she always spew about people that look like me and pretend like she has not done anything. Because the one of the videos, or like, where she wrote, like, who actually told my community that I am not part of them. I mean, you personally said it. All the things you've been doing so far said it. So how do you want us to bring you back to the community when for a minute you never stood for black people, right? You've been against them. I mean, the Jewish and all the and the colored people were your besties, not until you got sad because you were trying to say the truth, right? So you can imagine all these years she's been spraying those racist, I mean, like, horrible things to people that look like me. They were cool with her. But when she decided to stand up and speak the truth, she got sad. So I love the fact that she is enjoying the fruit of her label. Let her enjoy it. So back to the things they do that they do not know, that it's internalized racism that they always. I think that thing is like, one of the things that some of them have inside them and do not know that they have it, because really most of them are like that, internalized racism. And you see some of them, like, that stereotype they get black people, like when they see you on the road, they already, like, start acting conscious, like, I am so scared, I am threatened, and all that. I remember there was this black man who actually, I think he traveled, and he started asking, where are you from? The person told him where. The person, the young black man was like, where exactly? Where are you from? That one, that one took me off. Why? Because they are always like that. When probably they ask black people, and you tell them that you're from Texas, they are like, where are you really from? Like, you can't be from Texas. You can't be American. So all those internalized racism that they dish out to black people, some of them know that they have got it. Some are just using their privilege to do like they do not know that is a thing and all that. But I love the fact that she is pointing all this out. I hope this message is being sent across to them. Like the things that, is this your hair? Is it your real hair? I mean, your real hair. Is this your skin? I mean, your real skin. No, it is a mask. I am wearing a mask. So, yeah, spread the news, send it across to them so they learn, because it's not coming from me. It is not coming from someone that look like me. I feel like when it is coming from someone that look like them, they kind of tend to listen. But if it's coming from someone that look like me, they scream, reverse, right to the season. I remember one, a pop colored person, I mean, like, telling me that I am right to the cis, and I asked how. Why did you say that? To him, he was like, you are from so and so so place, and you did not come. He said, I could be racist, or I am racist because I did not come from a poor home. How did he know that I did not come from a poor home? And he said, I am a privileged black woman. So for that reason, I have the power to be rich. When I tell you all that CRT is very important, some people think I am joking. Some of them already burned their books. Some of them did not actually learn anything. And the fact that I was trying to explain racism and how it works, this person refused to listen. And I said, what to your tent, O Israel? Go do whatever you want to do. I don't care. I cannot be racist. And then guess what I did when he kept calling me racist? Guess what? And I said, you know what? I said, no. I said, I said it back to him. And he was like, no. But mom, what were you telling me? What were you doing? You first of all you told me that you are coming to Africa to adopt. Why are you coming to Africa to adopt? Because he thinks that we are dying of hunger. Does he even have the money to come and adopt? Or I am sorry, but yeah, he doesn't have the money to come and adopt. So you all can actually stop coming to Africa to adopt. I am not saying helping the, mind you, get what I am saying. There are also people where you are coming from. There are so many people out there, people that also look like you that you can adopt. Stop coming to make us look like, oh, we need help or we need some kind of savior. We do not need that. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.